Hey YouTube, getting ready to work on the 56 again. We're going to convert the TH350 3-speed into a 700 R4 4-speed, do a transmission swap. At 60 miles an hour with the 411 gears in the rear of this, I'm tacking about 3 grand. I think I can get that down to 2 grand or maybe under 2 grand with the 4th speed overdrive in the 700 R4. To do this swap, the 700R4 is a couple inches longer. So there's a couple of things I'm going to do today to prep for this job. And one is to remove the H-pipe. First off, the H-pipe is right under the current transmission pan. And that's too much heat on the transmission, I think. It's less than a half-inch away. So my idea for today is I'm going to cut it off and put a new piece of pipe in both sides and eliminate the H-pipe, drive it around, see if I like it or not without the H-pipe, see what it sounds like and what kind of low-end torque I get. But I can always add one in a little further back later, but I'm going to take this H-pipe off. And then also, since this cross member right here that holds the rear of the transmission in has to be moved back 2 inches, which isn't a problem, except, let me get over here, the battery has been moved to underneath the truck bed here, and I can't move the cross member back because the battery is in the way, and that case is welded onto the frame. So I got to cut that battery case off, move it back 2 inches, and re-weld it on the frame. So those are the two jobs for today. I've already got the car jacked up safely on jack stands, shook it, seems pretty solid. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this pipe with a Sawzall right here and right here on both sides, and I've got a piece to splice it. Okay, I cut the H-pipe off with the Sawzall. Simply cut here and cut here on both sides. I've already got that pipe off. I've got this 2-inch ID, 2 1/4 outside diameter piece of pipe. It's already flared on one end, so it'll fit on there, but I've got to flare the other end. So I bought this flare tool at Harbor Freight for 20 bucks, and I'll go ahead and flare this end and see if I can get it on there. All right, with this flare tool, you simply put it in and tighten it up. I'm using this caliper to see when I get to 2 1/4 inches. Not there yet. And then you take it out and you rotate it a little bit. Otherwise you get square spots and highs and lows. So every once in a while, turn it 1/4 inch till you get there. All right, I got that flared, 2 1/4. So I'll go ahead and bang it on. And what I did was I marked the pipe every 1/2 inch. So when I bang it on, I know how far in I am. I did that on both sides. So I'll go ahead and bang it on. Well, slight change of plan. This is the pipe I bought, and I measured it, and it's 50 thousandths. This is the H pipe I cut off, and it's 75 thousandths. It's 50% thicker. So I'm going to use the old H pipe instead of the new pipe that I bought. And unfortunately, this flare tool doesn't work on this thicker pipe. I just couldn't get it to expand. So I'm going to do butt weld joints. I think it's better than using this thinner material. Plus, this 6-inch piece ended up being right where the cross member is on the transmission. So I wouldn't be able to get the welder up there. So I'm going to use this longer piece. and where I can weld 360 degrees all the way around. All right, since I'm only a moderate fabricator and welder, I put sleeves around the joints. This one goes around 360 degrees. This one I had to cut. And I'll weld all of this up since, you know, moderate skills, have to use moderate techniques. I think that'll be good. I am going to remove the battery since I have to. There's the battery right there. Since I'm moving that battery tray back 2 inches and it's welded on, I'm removing the battery. To get the battery out, I got to drop the drive shaft, otherwise there's not enough clearance to pull it out. And then I'll unhook the digital dash and the fuel injection wiring just to be safe before I start welding on this car. All right, I got the truck ready to weld. Fuel injection, Hyperspark unplugged, the digital dash unplugged, the battery's out. Before I get started with this Harbor Freight flux core, I'm going to play with the speed settings and the energy level settings. I've got this little test piece, and I'm going to do some test welds here before I screw up the car. All right, no more H pipe. I've got the pipes spliced. See if I can zoom in. I've got the pipes spliced on both sides. And the battery box is moved rearward 2 inches, so I can now move that transmission mount back 2 inches for the R4. And I just have to put the drive shaft back on. I think I'll put some paint where I welded the battery bracket back on, and hook up the fuel injection and the dash wiring, and start her up and make sure there's no exhaust leaks.